Do you know what terrifies men the most? It's not rejection. It's not heartbreak. It's watching a woman slowly lose interest in them, even when she once swore she would never leave. That chilling moment when you notice her texts are shorter, her laughter fades, and her eyes don't light up the way they used to. That's when panic sets in. You start replaying everything in your head, wondering, what changed? What did I do wrong? And here's the uncomfortable truth. Women don't just wake up one morning and decide they're bored. Interest dies in silence. It dies in the small moments when she feels unseen, unappreciated, or like she's already figured you out completely. A woman's heart craves mystery, excitement, and depth. And when that disappears, her energy pulls away without a word. Men often think commitment alone will hold her, that love is enough, but it's not. Love is the foundation, yes, but interest is the fuel that keeps it alive. When the fuel burns out, even the strongest relationships stall. And the worst part? Most men don't see it coming. They notice only when she's already detached, when the warmth has gone cold. That's why keeping her interest isn't about flowers or expensive dates. It's about something far more powerful. It's about understanding the hidden psychology of desire, the part of her mind that even she doesn't fully recognize. Every woman tests, not because she wants to hurt you, but because she wants to feel alive with you. She wants to know that the man she chose isn't going to fade into routine, that he has layers she hasn't uncovered yet, that his presence ignites her. If you can't maintain that spark, she doesn't rage or scream. She quietly drifts, and you're left wondering how the woman who once held your hand so tightly now barely feels reachable. This is the reality most men refuse to face. They believe attraction is something you win once and then keep forever. But women are not static. They are emotional beings in constant motion. If you don't learn how to flow with her, you'll lose her, no matter how much she once loved you. And the scariest part? Another man who understands this psychology can walk into her life and awaken what you let die. That's why keeping her interested long-term is not just important. It's survival for your relationship. A woman stays interested when she feels like she's chosen a man who is bigger than her emotions, bigger than the chaos of life, and bigger than her fears. What she craves is not perfection, but presence. Your ability to stay grounded when she's storming. Your strength when she feels fragile. Your direction when she's lost in doubt. Too many men, without even realizing it, hand their power away the moment they fall in love. They stop leading. They stop growing, and they start orbiting around her moods like satellites instead of holding their own gravity. And when that happens, she begins to feel something she will never say out loud: disappointment. Interest is tied to respect. When she respects you, she desires you. When she stops respecting you, her interest begins to wither, no matter how much she once cared. You cannot beg a woman to stay fascinated by you. You cannot guilt her into staying in love. You cannot buy her loyalty with gifts or vacations. The only way to keep her fire alive is to keep embodying the kind of man she first fell for, and to evolve beyond him. If you stop chasing your vision, if you stop growing into a stronger, wiser version of yourself, she will sense it. And the instant she feels she knows every corner of you, that she's already solved the puzzle, her mind will wander. Think back to when she was first drawn to you. It wasn't just your looks or your charm, it was the energy of possibility. She saw you as someone with depth, with dreams, with layers she couldn't wait to peel back. That curiosity is the essence of female attraction. Once it disappears, so does her emotional investment. That's why complacency is the silent killer of relationships. It creeps in when you assume you've already won her, when you stop doing the things that made you magnetic in the first place. A man's greatest mistake is believing his job ends once she says yes. The truth is, that's when your real work begins. She's not testing you to destroy you. She's testing you to see if the man she fell for still lives inside you. Can you still challenge her mind? Can you still spark her emotions? Can you still make her feel like she's with someone who is rare, not replaceable? If the answer is no, her interest will fade. But if the answer is yes, if you keep showing her that you're a man in motion, a man who doesn't stagnate, her loyalty and attraction will deepen in ways you never imagined. Keeping a woman interested long-term is not about constantly entertaining her or turning yourself into a performer. It's about creating an energy she can never fully predict. Women are addicted to emotional experiences. They don't want a flat line. They want the highs and lows, the suspense, the feeling that being with you is a journey, not a destination. And this doesn't mean drama or arguments. It means depth. It means moments where you surprise her, not with material things, but with your words, your silence, your confidence, and your ability to shift her emotions effortlessly. If you always react the same way, always give the same answers, always behave in patterns she can anticipate, she will unconsciously begin to disengage. Why? Because predictability kills curiosity. And when curiosity dies, interest follows. A man who understands female psychology knows this. It's not about playing games, but about being a man with so many layers that she could spend a lifetime exploring them and still not reach the bottom. You become magnetic, not by being perfect, but by being unpredictable in a way that excites her. Think about it. Every great love story a woman remembers has one thing in common. It was unforgettable because the man left an imprint on her emotions. He challenged her. He intrigued her. He brought out sides of her she didn't even know existed. That's the secret, to make her feel more alive in your presence than she does anywhere else. If she feels more alive scrolling on her phone, watching a show, or talking to another man than she does with you, you've already lost her. But here's the truth most men never face. This requires courage. Courage to hold your frame when she tests you. Courage to lead when she resists. Courage to be bold when fear tells you to play it safe. Women subconsciously crave a man who can stir their emotions without losing his own center. That's the paradox. You make her feel the waves, but you remain the anchor. And when you master that balance, you don't just keep her interested. You make it impossible for her to imagine life without you. Most men think the way to keep a woman interested is through constant attention, endless reassurance, or giving her everything she asks for. But in reality, that's the fastest path to suffocating her desire. A woman doesn't stay drawn to the man who gives in to her every whim. She stays drawn to the man who makes her feel like she has to keep earning his presence. Not because he withholds affection, but because his life is so full of purpose and direction that she wants to keep up with him. When you stop being her challenge, you become her comfort. And comfort alone is never enough to sustain passion. Women are wired to be drawn to men who stand slightly out of reach, who carry themselves with a quiet authority that says, "I choose my path first, and you're welcome to walk beside me." That is what keeps her intrigued, because it tells her she can never fully own you, never fully tame you. And believe it or not, that's what makes her feel safe, knowing that you are strong enough not to be consumed by her moods, her doubts, or her storms. Think about the men women dream about, the men they describe in private conversations with their friends. They don't talk about the guy who texted back within 3 seconds or canceled his plans to sit at home because she was bored. They talk about the man who kept his word, who stood firm when she pushed back, who wasn't afraid to say no when it mattered. That man lives by his own values, and that's what makes him unforgettable. When you lose yourself in her world, when you make her the center of your existence, you kill the very energy that drew her to you in the first place. She didn't choose you to be her shadow. She chose you because you had light of your own. And if that light fades, so does her desire. A woman will never admit this directly, but she longs for a man who can inspire her by the way he moves through life, not by the way he bends to hers. That is the paradox of attraction. She stays interested not when you chase her, but when she feels she must keep chasing you. Not because you're running away, but because you're always becoming more, always stepping into higher versions of yourself. That endless pursuit of growth makes her realize she will never get bored of you, because you're always one step ahead of the man she thought she already knew. The secret most men never hear is that a woman doesn't just fall in love with who you are, she falls in love with how she feels when she's around you. That feeling is what keeps her hooked, not the promises, not the gifts, not the words. And here's the hard truth. If you can't consistently create those emotions, she will search for them elsewhere, even if she never intends to. Interest fades when the emotional connection dries up, not when the love disappears. A woman can still love you and feel disconnected from you. And when that gap widens, the relationship becomes fragile. So how do you keep her interested? By mastering the art of presence. That means when you're with her, you are with her. Not half distracted, not lost in your phone, not mentally somewhere else. Women can feel when a man's attention is scattered. They can feel when he's no longer captivated by them. And if you're not captivated by her, she won't stay captivated by you. But presence doesn't mean obsession. It means depth. It means listening to what she's really saying underneath her words, noticing the small details, responding not just with logic, but with energy that makes her feel understood on a level no one else reaches. At the same time, presence requires contrast. If you're always available, always waiting, always saying yes, your presence loses value. Scarcity creates appreciation. That's why men who have ambition, who chase goals bigger than themselves, who protect their time, naturally keep women fascinated. They create polarity. She knows that when he gives her his time, it's intentional, not by default. That makes his attention priceless. Most men go wrong by trying to keep a woman through fear. Fear of losing her, fear of her leaving, fear of being alone. That fear makes them cling, and clinging kills attraction. The truth is, she doesn't want you to hold on to her out of fear. She wants you to hold on to your path, your mission, your vision. When she sees that, she feels inspired, and inspiration keeps her heart alive in ways security alone never could. A woman doesn't lose interest because you're not enough. She loses interest because you stopped being the man she could look at and say, "He's still growing, still leading, still making me want to rise with him." That's the essence of keeping her long-term. Not locking her in, but making her realize she never wants to step out. If you want to keep a woman interested for years, even decades, it comes down to one principle. Never stop becoming the man she can't fully predict, can't fully control, and can't fully outgrow. Women crave growth. They crave energy. They crave a man who makes them feel alive. And the moment she senses you've stopped moving forward, she begins to question whether you're truly the man she wants to follow. That questioning may be silent, but it's deadly. The truth is, she doesn't want perfection. She doesn't need you to be flawless. She needs you to be real, steady, and yet always evolving. She needs to see that no matter how long she stays by your side, there will always be more to discover, more to admire, more to feel. That's why some women never lose interest in certain men. It's because those men never stop leading themselves first. They remain students of life, constantly sharpening their edge, constantly deepening their presence, constantly keeping that spark of unpredictability alive. Ask yourself this: when she looks at you, does she feel she's already seen everything there is to see? Or does she feel she's only scratched the surface of what you carry inside? That answer determines whether her desire burns or dies. Because love alone isn't enough. Without intrigue, without respect, without emotional ignition, love becomes routine. And routine is where passion goes to die. So if you truly want to keep her long-term, stop asking, "How do I make her stay?" and start asking, "How do I keep becoming the man she never wants to leave?" That shift in perspective changes everything. When you embody growth, strength, and depth, her attraction doesn't just last, it grows. She feels proud to stand beside you. She feels inspired to rise with you, and she feels grateful that she chose you. That's the ultimate secret. She doesn't stay because you hold her. She stays because every part of her knows she'd be a fool to let you go. Now I want to ask you something personal. Do you believe you've been giving her reasons to stay fascinated by you, or have you unknowingly let yourself become predictable? Drop your honest answer in the comments, because your awareness is the first step to change. And if this message struck something inside you, make sure to like this video, subscribe for more, and share it with a friend who needs to hear it before it's too late.